Hello, welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. That trick's going to get old soon, isn't it? Today, more of that below the radar, under the radar Burgundy. I have in fact had this same classification and same producer before. This is Marc Bourgogne Rouge, the lowest common denominator. But last time it was the 2019 vintage. This time I thought I would try the 2018 vintage. I had to re-watch my own tasting notes for that. I think, quick recap, I think I liked the fruit character, but it was a bit dry on the palate. And I'm sort of vaguely hoping, 2018, of course, that hot year, you tend to get sort of, bigger, bolder fruit. Can end up a little bit jammy. So I'm hoping this actually might be slightly nicer than the 2019 vintage. As a reminder, this, even though it's just sold as a Bourgogne Rouge, I'll put the price down there, a bargain compared to other Burgundies. The actual plots apparently are somewhere inside Gevrey-Chambertin, which is amazing. So this is apparently a sort of unmarked Gevrey-Chambertin that goes for about half the price it would have gone for if it had the magic words Gevrey-Chambertin across the label. I'm sure there is some reason why it can't be called that, otherwise, why would they deliberately mark it down like this? But anyway, let's open it up and see what it's like. It is a very gloomy day today here on the Heath. You wouldn't believe it is, what is it, a third of the way into August? Is it something like August the 8th today? Pleasant nose, I suppose, mainly getting fruit character there, and a bit like last time, it's in the sort of, I feel like I'm saying this on repeat, it's kind of dark and or red berry fruits. Colour is that probably not especially dark, it's sort of medium, kind of within the range of typical Burgundies, tiny bit on the darker spectrum. The fruit character might lean a little bit darker though, it's plummy, it's dark plums, there could be a tiny hint of blackcurrant there. Probably some cherry as well. So it's those usual suspects, dark red berry fruit. A little bit subtler than I remember it being, which is interesting because I would have thought a 2018 versus a 2019, a 2018 is going to be sort of bigger and bolder, but it is also older, so perhaps it's mellowed a bit more. Decent level of concentration, relatively silky, but there are a few tannic edges around there. Slightly sort of hot, maybe even a touch of something like white peppery sort of tannins. Fruit character once again quite similar, getting a fair bit of tannin there now, really quite mouth puckering, and something woody. Perhaps this will improve as it airs a bit. Overall right now, a little bit too much tannin and woodiness for me to really enjoy it. Somewhere buried underneath all of that, there is some quite pleasant fruit, and I suppose it does show a bit of that Gevrey-Chambertin character. The thing I always look for is concentration with Gevrey-Chambertin. It's a little bit powerful, a little bit concentrated, a little bit intense. That's what I want from a Gevrey-Chambertin, I think. It's doing sort of some of that stuff, but yeah, a little bit lost in the tannins and the wood at the moment. The fruit character has changed a little bit now, and I feel like I get something like melon almost, sort of gala melon, which is weird. The tannins have softened a little bit, but they're definitely still there. The acidity is quite bold here as well. I'm not sure I really picked that up straight away earlier, but I'm definitely getting that. So slightly jarring effect of quite tannic, quite acidic, makes it a tiny bit, I probably always misuse the word astringent, but it's a tiny bit like that on the palate. I struggled to find many other tasting notes for this, but at least one set of tasting notes I read said that the taster in question had it slowly over the space of 4 days. They seem to think it really needed that much airing to really come into its own. I remember the 2019 of this just being more instantly accessible. I did have that slightly dry palate. I suppose in a different way today I'm noticing something similar, but I mean, maybe this is something that really needs to age for a bit more. The tannins would soften, that acidity would mellow, but it would still be pretty acidic, which is good. You obviously don't want to lose that acidity altogether. I'll mull it over for a bit longer, for as long as I can be bothered to sit out here in the gloom. Perhaps it will be one of those wines that magically transforms in towards the end of the bottle, I don't know. Right now, still kind of struggling with it, to be honest. In case I don't come back to you. Cheers.